everybody. Sorry about the delay. Some technical difficulties, but glad you're here. I'm going to be super quick with the intro so that we can get moving. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Adra. I teach the chair yoga and functional fitness class here at GoGo. We're going to skip everything except for the quick reminders of how you can access GoGo services. So you can access rides, meals, groceries, medication delivery, and home services, all by calling one number. And that number is 855-464-6872. And with that, we'll get moving. So sorry for the delay. Welcome to our chair yoga. So let's start seated. I'm gonna go ahead and make your way to your seat. We're just gonna move for a minute here. We are gonna meditate in a second, but let's just take a second here, take some circles with the torso, settle yourself in. And then circle the other way. And make your way back to center. Let's do a couple shoulder rolls forward. And a couple shoulder rolls back. And then allow your shoulders to relax and close the eyes. You can also soften your gaze to the ground if you'd rather not close your eyes. And just take a few moments to settle in. Let go of the day so far. Let go of all of the other things that you need to do. And begin to tune into your breath. So feeling that natural flow of the breath and the air moving in and out. Begin to notice where you feel the breath in the body. And then begin to notice the pauses in the breath. That moment at the top of the inhale, that pause, and the moment at the bottom of the exhale before you take your next breath. Just noticing. Then from this space of quiet, take a moment to set an intention for your practice. Just noting what's brought you to class today. Maybe there's something you'd like to cultivate or honor. Go ahead and set that for yourself now. And take a deep inhale. And a long exhale. And we'll go ahead and begin moving once again. You can blink open the eyes and start to rotate the head no, turning the head right and left. Just noticing the motion in the neck. And then nodding the head, yes. Looking up and down. And then we'll bring the right ear towards the right shoulder, getting a nice side stretch of the neck. And lifting the head and switching sides. Once again, ear to shoulder. And other side. And back to center. Let's inhale, circle the arms out to the side and up towards the ceiling, reaching tall. And then exhale, hands come back down. So keep going here without necessarily doing this with any specific form. Just notice what parts of the body move to make this happen. Do you feel the arm bones, the upper arm bones moving in the shoulders? Do you feel your shoulder blades moving? Do the forearms and wrists move? Does your spine move? So just having this curiosity, not thinking right or wrong, but having a curiosity about how your body likes to organize itself, how your body likes to move. We all have our own form. It's interesting to observe that form. Next time the arms are halfway up, so in a T position, we'll pause. Feeling those fingertips pulling apart in opposite directions. We're gonna flip your left palm down and back and your right palm up. So I'm mirroring you. So you're sort of wringing it out and see if you can really rotate not only that left palm back, but you're finding the rotation in the shoulder and the forearm. And then same with that right arm, we're really trying to rotate the palm to face up to the ceiling, and that rotation is happening through the entire arm. And then we switch. So we're wringing out those arms and finding that you can rotate through the entire arm. It's not just the forearm. It's not just that upper arm bone, that humerus in the shoulder socket, but it's the forearm and the upper arm bone moving. And also your shoulder blade might move a little bit here to help you find this full movement. So we're trying to get all of those joints involved in this rotating in and out of the arms. All right, and then releasing those arms. They might feel a little bit warm, maybe a few shoulder rolls back. And let's warm up that spine. Going into our seated cat-cow, we'll inhale, chest forward. Tail goes back, chin lifts. Exhale, round the back, drop the chin, tuck your tail. Inhale, chest comes forward, tail goes back, stretch the front of the body. Exhale, round the back, tuck the chin, tuck the tail. Keep going, a couple more times. You can leave your arms on your lap, or if you'd like, you can add some arm movement. So when you inhale and pull the chest forward, you'll bring the elbows back, squeezing those shoulder blades together. And then when you round your back into that Halloween cat round, arms reach forward. So elbows bend, chest comes forward, elbows go back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, exhale, round, pushing those hands forward, tucking the tail, dropping the chin. Keep going here at your own pace. Again, arms are optional. And then make your way back to center. Release the arms down alongside the body and begin to bend side to side. So getting a nice side stretch here. So it's up to you how low you go. Really trying to do a pure side bend. So watching that you're not rounding forward or arching back, that you're side bending directly. And then coming back to center. Let's rotate our spine one direction. And we're gonna hold for a few breaths. So it doesn't matter which way, twist one way, hold for a few breaths. Let your head join this twist. So you're gonna turn your head to look past that back shoulder and let your eyes follow as well. Let your eyes increase that twist by looking back. And then let's twist the other way. So rotating the spine and feeling that if you let your head turn to continue that rotation, you can go a little further. And then if your eyes keep going in that direction as well, you might be able to rotate even further. And come back to center. Let's move to our lower body. We're gonna go into some heel raises. So toes stay down, we'll alternate lifting one heel and then the other. Finding a little bit of motion here. Keeping the balls of the feet on the ground. So it's not just the toes on the ground, but that front portion of the foot, the pad of the foot, is also trying to stay down. Because we want to find motion through the foot and not just the toes. All right. And then let's go ahead and go into some marching now. So you're going to lift your entire leg. So foot comes off the ground, knee lifts. Just noticing how the body does this. And then you're going to lift one leg up and leave it up. Grab a hold of that knee or shin with your hand so that you can hold that leg up. And let's circle the ankle. Circle your ankle the other direction. And then release the leg, relax the foot, and we switch sides. So other leg comes up, grab a hold of the knee or shin with your hands. I like to interlace, it just makes it easier for me. And then circle your ankle. Circle the other direction. Relax the foot and release the leg. Now let's go ahead and take those legs nice and wide. So going as wide as you can, comfortably can. And lean a little bit forward. We're gonna do a little twisting here with our shoulders and our spine. So leaning forward, it's okay for your shoulders to creep up towards your ears here. I like my fingers facing kind of along the knees or slightly out, but it's up to you. You could go in as well if that's more comfortable. We'll drop the left shoulder forward, twisting, looking to the right, finding that rotation in the spine and in the shoulders. And then come to center. Other shoulder dips forward, rotate. Back to center. One more time each side. First shoulder drops, find that twist. Notice what you feel. Center and other way. And back to center. Lift your torso back up. We're going to keep that right hand on your leg and reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. You can stay here or you can begin to bend that right elbow, bringing the right forearm to the leg to increase the stretch, and then that free arm can start to reach towards the side wall instead of towards the ceiling. Coming back up, we'll switch sides. So left hand on your leg, lean to the left. Right arm goes up. You can stay here or begin to bend that left elbow. Maybe the left forearm finds your thigh to increase the stretch. That right arm can reach all the way to the ceiling or towards the wall to get even more stretch. And go ahead and come back up to center. Let's heel toe those feet towards each other. And then we're gonna fold forward over the middle of the leg. So bending those elbows, folding forward, you can stay on your hands. You could also bring your forearms to your legs. You could also bring your chest to your legs and your hands to your feet. Head and neck relax. We're feeling maybe a little rounding here in the back. Folding at the hips. Let's hold for 4 deep breaths. And then walk yourself back up. All right, so we're gonna move into a quad stretch that's kind of like a lunge on our chair. So we're going to turn sideways. I'm gonna mirror you. So I'm gonna turn and we're gonna have our right cheek on the chair. The left cheek's gonna be sort of hanging off. So the right leg's on the chair, the left leg is sort of off. You're gonna hold on to the back of the chair for support. From here, you're gonna slide, and if you're on a chair that has armrests, this is a nice time to maybe grab a different chair just for this part. Or you can turn, if you have a couch, and the couch has like a pulling out part, you know, like what is it called? Put your legs up, you could sit on one of those. So, right leg on the chair, left leg is off, we're gonna slide that left leg back. So we're going into a lunge, but we're not putting pressure on our knee. Feeling free to hold on to the back of the chair to do this. So, up to how far back you go. The further back usually means you're gonna get more stretch. Back foot. Your back foot can be tucked under or it can be pointed. So you can point the foot or you can get those toes under. Up to you. You might already get a stretch there. If you're not getting a stretch, you're gonna play with the position of your pelvis. So if you stick your tail back behind you, like you're arching your back, like you're doing a back bend, you're gonna lose the stretch. If you tuck your tail under, like you're dropping your tail between your legs, or you're lifting your pubic bone towards your belly button, you should feel more stretch. I'm gonna talk through all of the positions one more time, just in case you missed it. So we're sitting on our right leg, our left leg is free. We're sitting sideways on the chair. We're holding onto the back of the chair for support and sliding that right leg back behind us. So we create these two 90-degree bends in our knees. That right knee is reaching down towards the earth. And then to increase the stretch, we tuck the tail under. So you should feel some quad hip flexor stretch. If you lean forward, you'll probably lose some of the stretch too. So try and keep your torso upright. 2 more breaths. And then go ahead and release, and we'll turn all the way over to the other side. So we're gonna bring that left leg on the chair, right cheek is free. So right cheek is off the chair, right leg is off the chair. Feel free to hold onto the back of the chair with that left hand. Keep that left foot also on the ground, give yourself some support. We're going into that lunge, so we're gonna slide that right leg back behind us until it creates a 90-degree bend. And again, if you don't have the equipment for this, it's okay. This exercise is 2 minutes long and then we'll move on to something else. So if you have a chair with an armrest, you know, it's okay, no big deal. Next time you can try it when you have a free chair. So at least you know the movement. You can also do this standing, right? It's just a little bit more work. So right leg is back, right knee is reaching down towards the ground. That back foot can be tucked under or pointed, it's up to you. Torso is upright. You can tuck your pelvis under. So if you reach that tail towards the ground and reach your pubic bone towards your belly button, you're gonna get more stretch. Few deep breaths, watching where your torso is. We held this other side for several deep breaths. So let's hold this side as well for many breaths. Jaw is relaxed. You might notice the difference from this side to the other. We're getting a stretch here on the front of the hip, the thighs. This can be quite intense. You might also feel things in your toes, so just being gentle with yourself. If you need to point that foot, that's totally fine. You can still get benefit there, especially if you're tucking that tail. All right, and let's release. Come back to center, back to the middle of the chair. Let's give our lower body a little break and we'll come back to the upper body. So sitting in our chair, we'll bend our elbows 90 degrees, palms face up like you're holding a platter. We'll inhale, open up the arms. So elbows are gonna stay close, but we're gonna move those hands out to the side, thumbs reaching back. That bend in the elbows is still about 90 degrees. Exhale, hands come forward, pinkies touch, back to holding that platter or plate. We inhale, open up the arms. This is rotation, external rotation. Thumbs reach back. We're finding that motion of that upper arm bone in the shoulder socket. And then exhale, pinkies touch. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, pinkies touch. Keep going, follow your breath. Next time your arms are out to the side, go ahead and pause. Flip those palms to face forward. And then bend the elbows a little more. So now it's more 45 degrees instead of 90 into kind of a W-like shape. We'll inhale, reach the arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, bend the elbows, create that W, slide the shoulder blades down the back. We inhale, reach the arms up, spread those fingers. And then exhale, create that W and make a fist with the hands. Inhale, arms reach up, spreading those fingers. Exhale, bend, slide those shoulders down the back. Keep going, follow your breath. Next time you're at that W, go ahead and pause, really slide those shoulder blades down, hold for another breath. And release, shake it off. Let's go into a little back bend. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. You're going to grab a hold the back of your chair. You can also interlace your fingers if that feels better. So you can interlace the fingers or grab the back of the chair. Squeeze those shoulder blades together and lift your chest. So it's a back bend in that you're trying to lift the chest and we're stretching the shoulders at the same time. Couple of deep breaths. And release, shake it off. We're moving to the standing part of class. We're only standing for about 5 minutes. So if you don't want to stand, you can sit and do some stretches there. If you would like to stand, go ahead and come on up. And you're going to go behind your chair. If getting behind the chair is not possible, find a wall or a table. Just something to hold on to for safety. You don't need to move sideways. I'm just sideways so you can see. All right, let's go into a warrior one. So hands on the chair, left foot stays where it is. We'll step that right leg back about 2 feet, anywhere from 1 to 3 feet. It's up to you. And then we bend just the front knee. So that front knee bends, back leg is straight. The torso is upright. So the shoulders are over the pelvis. Feel free to keep holding on to the chair or hover your hands above the chair or reach those arms up to the ceiling. Up to you, couple of deep breaths. Your hands are up, bring them back to the chair. Let's straighten out that front leg. You can stay with your torso upright, or you're gonna begin to hinge forward. Think about the hinging happening at the hips. So it's the pelvis moving over your thigh bone here, bringing you forward into a hamstring stretch. Hands can stay on the chair with bent elbows. You could also bring your forearms to the chair. If you're really flexible, you might find that it's comfortable to bring your hands to your leg to get a little further forward. Just be gentle with yourself. So we're stretching the hamstrings in the back of that front leg, so that left leg. They attach at the sits bones and behind the knee. So that hard bone in your bum, that's your sit bone or your ischial tuberosity. You're gonna think about taking that sit bone towards the ceiling or away from the back of the knee. It's kind of the opposite motion of what we were doing when we were lunging on the chair and tucking our tail. Now we're untucking the tail, reaching the tail to the sky. Let's go ahead and bend that front knee, lift your torso up and step forward. Back foot meets the front. Switching sides, standing on that right leg, left foot goes back anywhere from 1 to 3 feet back. We bend that front knee, back leg is straight. Back heel is on the ground as best you can, front knee is bent. Feel free to keep holding on to your chair or hover your hands above the chair or reach your arms up to the sky. It's up to you. Find what works for you, several deep breaths. Hands come back to the chair if they're lifted. Let's straighten out that front leg. You can stay upright or begin to bend those elbows, hinging forward, trying to hinge at the hips and not at the waist. It's up to you how low you go. You can keep holding onto the chair. You could also bring your forearms to the chair. You're also welcome to bring your hands to your leg. Same idea here. So we're thinking about that bone in the bum. That's reaching up towards the ceiling. So that movement increases the stretch in the back of the leg. Jaw is relaxed. A few more deep breaths. All right, torso comes up. Bend the front knee and step forward. Back foot meets the front. And let's go ahead and come back down to our seat. All right, so coming back to our seat, we're gonna stretch out our hips. So let's cross that right ankle over the left thigh for a figure 4 position. If that's not possible today, you could cross your legs instead. So thigh on top of thigh, or you could cross your ankles and let your knees open. So either ankles cross, thighs cross, or right ankle crosses over the left thigh. Whatever position you choose, let's go ahead and move that torso around. So let's take some circles with the torso and notice how, depending on where your torso positions itself, the stretch changes. Circle the other way. And then you decide where you want to hold. So you can keep moving, But if you feel a really interesting stretch as you move your torso, maybe you pause and hold the stretch. And that could be forward, that could be leaning back, it could be leaning to one side. Everybody's different and every day is different. So you might find that one day you lean to one side and another day you get lots of stretch leaning forward or even leaning back. Just listening to the body. Go ahead and lift yourself up, undo the leg, shake them off. And we'll go to the other side. So left ankle can cross over the right and the knees can open. Left thigh can cross over the right. Or left ankle can cross over the right thigh, creating a four-like shape. From whatever position you're in, you'll start to explore the space. So taking some circles with your torso. Circling both directions. And then feeling free to pause in any position that feels good or interesting to the body to hold the stretch. Maybe noticing how this side feels compared to the first side. And go ahead and come on up. You can undo the legs, shake them off. And then planting those feet. So let's interlace those fingers. So intertwining those fingers, let those palms face forward and push the palms forward as you straighten your arms to stretch the hands and the forearms. You can leave the hands facing straight forward, so in line with the shoulders and the chest, or feel free to start to reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Couple of deep breaths wherever you go. Go ahead and release the interlacing of the fingers, lowering those arms. Arms can come forward in front of you, and let's do some wrist circles. I'm just doing outward circles. It doesn't matter which direction you go, because let's go ahead and switch. Circle the other way. And then letting those wrists go. Let's stretch that right leg forward in front of us and point and flex that right foot. So we're just moving at the ankle. The toes reach down towards the ground and then the toes reach up towards the ceiling. Next time your toes are facing up to the ceiling, you're going to stay there. And we're going to rotate the leg in and out. So toes will point in towards your other leg. And that whole leg is moving. So it's not just the toes moving, but you're feeling that your thigh bone moved in and then thigh bone moves out, toes point out. Just a little internal rotation, external rotation, finding a little motion in the leg. It's easier to do this if you're sitting at the front edge of the chair. If you're too far back, the thigh is gonna feel like has a lot of resistance against the chair. And then bring the leg back and we switch sides. So we stretch the other leg forward. First we point and flex. So toes reach down towards the ground and then toes reach up to the ceiling. So maybe they touch the ground, maybe they don't, and then they reach up to the sky. So we're finding that motion in the ankle. And then toes stay up towards the ceiling and we're gonna rotate. So we'll turn the toe in, toes in and leg turns in. So the knee is gonna point inward towards the other side of your body. And then left leg's gonna turn out, in and out. And then back to center. Let's go ahead and re-bend that knee. Both feet plant on the ground. Let's inhale, circle the arms out to the side and up towards the sky. Exhale, palms touch, hands lower towards the heart. 2 more times. Inhale, hands circle out and up. Exhale, hands to the heart and down. Inhale, circle out and up. Exhale, hands to the heart and then down to the lap. Let's close the eyes or soften the gaze to the earth. Checking back in with our body, with our mind. So noticing first how you feel physically. What's going on in the body? Any changes, any sensations present? And just acknowledging, no judgment, just noticing. And then also noticing any thoughts, any feelings that are present. And again, no judgment, just noticing. And then notice your breath and the natural rhythm of the breath in and out of the body. Then let's place one hand on top of the other against your chest, against your heart. Feeling the breath moving beneath the palms. Maybe even feeling your heart beating. Taking a moment to check back in with your intention if you set one. And then take a moment to thank yourself for taking time to take care of your mind and your body. Namaste. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining today for our yoga. I see there's lots in the chat. Asking if there's going to be a recording. Yes, there will be another recording in the class. You'll get it like in a week or so. You can check it on the YouTube. Oh, and I see someone else liked the lunge. Yeah, the lunge is my favorite. I don't teach it very often because some people don't have chairs without armrests. So I don't like to do it so often that people feel excluded from it. But it's my favorite stretch. too in the chair. So, great. Well, so wonderful to have everyone here. I'm sorry about the issues, and that we started class a little bit late. Now's your time if you have any questions. Questions about class. GoGo questions, email GoGo because I can't answer them usually. So any questions about class, please feel free to ask.
Do you have any specific restrictions for scoliosis or things that you suggest doing for scoliosis?
So if you have restrictions from your doctor, then do whatever they say. So that's number one. I'm not a doctor. But what I generally recommend for scoliosis is to move in ways that are comfortable. It's not about perfecting your curve or trying to get rid of the curve, but to respect it. That's my point of view, is respect the curves in the spine. And so if it feels, so sometimes with scoliosis, the legs are different too. So let's say there's like a little shift to one side. And so it feels better to squat that way, let's say. I generally recommend to respect that and get strong in that position because that's the position your body lives in. And usually if you try and recenter yourself, you end up with pain. If you try and center yourself and you don't end up with pain, then that's fine. But for a lot of the seated stuff, there's no specific recommendation, except for to make sure that you're doing things that feel safe on the body.
But as long as you're feeling basically okay.
Yeah, there's no contraindication or specific way that you should be moving. In Pilates, there's a lot more. Like we do some padding when you're laying down on the ground in ways that create more support for the spine. But since everything here is seated, we don't create that support.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Class was wonderful.
Thanks for being here.
So you will have a recording of this, right? That we can do the same.
Yeah, so it should it'll show up on YouTube, and then V wrote that in the chat within the next week or two. So it takes a few weeks to like download and get it up, but it'll be up on the YouTube channel in a few weeks, and then you can see in the chat there's a link to the YouTube channel.
And that will be there for a while, or would each successive class be a different one?
As far as I know, they just go there and
you can just keep going and doing the class.
You could redo the same class over and over again.
That was basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was wonderful.
You are welcome. You are so welcome.
Have a good weekend.
You too. You too. Anyone else have any questions or thoughts? All right. Well, if there's nothing else, it was great to have you here. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week, either on Wednesday or again on Friday. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you soon.